What's up, everyone? V here, and I'm back. Yeah, sorry for disappearing on all of you for the past 2 weeks, but I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. But I'm back, and today I'm going to be reviewing the DC Multiverse, The Flash from The Flash. This, of course, is The Flash as he appears in the movie The Flash, a movie at which I haven't seen yet. I know it's been out for a week, but again, a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, so haven't been able to go out and see movies. I really want to see Transformers, but I haven't seen it yet. But I want to see Transformers and this, because Flash is my favorite DC character. He's been my favorite DC character for years, thanks to a certain someone who I shall be reviewing soon. Yeah, a lot of Flash content, not just from the movie, coming up, so stay tuned. But yeah, Flash is my favorite DC character, has been for a while, mostly thanks to Grant Gustin's Flash on the CW. I will still defend that show. It got dicey in the end, but honestly enjoyed the final season. More thoughts on that when I get that video. But I was really hyped for this Flash movie, because, again, I love the Flash so much, and the trailers made it look really good. So when it dropped and everyone was saying it was garbage and trash and not that good, kind of broke my heart. Cause I was really excited. This is the first Flash movie, and I was so hyped to see it. So now knowing that it might not be that good is really disappointing. But I guess if I go in with low expectations, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Something really has to suck for me to be disappointed, or I have to have my expectations insanely high, and it to not meet that for me to be disappointed. But I think I might enjoy it. And my thoughts on Ezra Miller as the Flash real quick. He's alright. They definitely could have picked a better person, I don't feel like he really looks the part. He kind of acts the part. I mean, he was alright in Justice League, and he seems like he might do a good job in this movie, but I still prefer my boy Grant. He's the Flash in my eyes. But yeah, he's alright. They definitely could have picked a better person. Someone that's blonde, because I'm pretty sure Barry's blonde in the comics. I could be completely wrong. I don't know much about DC Comics or comics in general. But yeah, he's alright. And this suit is, it's interesting. I'm kind of in between on it. Sometimes I'm like, it's actually kind of cool. This figure actually makes me like the suit a lot. But then I see some pictures and I'm like, this suit kind of doesn't look that great. And then other pictures I'm like, but it kind of does. So I'm in between on it. But honestly, I do think this figure actually is pretty solid. As you can see, I got him in a running pose. You can't do that unless you have the stand. But before we talk about the figure itself, like always, let's dive into the box. And if you've seen my previous reviews of Dr. Fate, the Batman, and the Riddler, I'm not the biggest fan of the McFarlane boxes. Not the biggest fan of McFarlane in general, but yeah. Got just a square. It's kind of boring, At least Marvel Legends and Black Series, they got uniquely shaped boxes. It's just a square. The background, I feel like, is always the same, which is kind of boring, but it's got a bunch of comic stuff. You got DC Multiverse. Okay, yeah, it says The Flash. I was looking at it earlier, and I was like, it just says Flash? No, it says The Flash. Got his little symbol there, which is circled in gold, which is interesting, because the figure symbol isn't outlined in gold, but this symbol is, and on the card it is, so that's interesting. The Flash, TM, I don't know what that is. The Flash, DC Multiverse, The Flash, 22 moving parts! McFarlane Toys, The Flash, The Flash, The Flash, The Flash, McFarlane Toys, and on the back you have a actually really cool, uniquely art-styled picture of The Flash from The Flash trademark. They're really not consistent with the pictures on the card. Sometimes it's shots from the movie, sometimes it's character posters, sometimes it's pictures of the figure, and sometimes it's art. I'll take any of the other ones above the pictures of the figures. Those suck, so of course the Batman cards suck. But yeah, here is Mr. Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. Let's talk about his accessories. First off, he's standing on one. Let's get him, more straightened out. Because, yeah, he poses really well. He is standing on a McFarlane DC base. I'm pretty sure this is the same base that comes with every single figure. You just have a little symbol that says DC there. It kind of looks like it's gold, but I think it's black. It's just the lighting. Got one peg, hole on the foot, plop it in, and he stands. This figure needs the base, because I was trying to get him to stand just on his own. It was not working well, but he stands really well with the base. So, because, see, can't really get the feet flat. But yeah. Other accessories, he has his card with a beautiful shot of that artwork, but again, it has that gold ring around it. I thought that just wasn't on the design, but maybe it is, I don't know. The Flash. On the back, Jesus Christ. Real name Barry Allen. After an accident empowering Barry Allen trademark, with the gift of superhuman speed, the young scientist quickly became one of Earth's most heroic defenders. The Flash trademark, as part of the Justice League trademark, Barry has continued to explore the limits of his powers while trying to outrun the events of his childhood. When he discovers that he has the ability to manipulate time, the fastest man alive trademark, wait, that's trademarked? Races back to a pivotal moment in his past, only to change the future in a multiverse of ways that he could never have imagined. See, that's such a cool plot. I want to know how they explain his parents getting killed, because, it looks like they took influence from the show where, Reverse Flash goes back and kills his mom and his dad goes to jail. I don't know if that's originally in the show or not. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, but I did hear if there is a sequel that they might have the Reverse Flash, which is cool. And, yeah. And his only other accessories are these lightning effects. You get, 2 lightning effects, this one and this one. And I think the other 2 are just literally... Actually, no, this is a different shape. Okay, never mind. And I will be honest with you, I have no idea how to put these on the figure. I think these you can clip, around the legs to get, the running effect. But this one doesn't clip on as well. Maybe need to put it higher? I don't know. See, that one's not clipping on. And I don't have the slightest idea how you would even get these on. But yeah, that's an idea of what it might look like. I don't care. I don't pose the figures. I mess around with them, then I throw them in my closet. But yeah, and if you've seen my previous McFarlane DC figure reviews, you know I'm not the biggest fan of McFarlane figures. 10 times out of 10, they're disproportionate, they feel weird, they have a large QC issue, and just generally are not on the same standard as Marvel Legends Black Series, all the other ones. But this figure, I will legitimately say, might be the best McFarlane figure. Especially the ones that I own. Because proportionally, he's still a little wonky. You can definitely tell his legs are really long compared to his body. And bringing in Grant's figure, you can definitely see the disproportionate. But it's Grant's taller, but Ezra's crotch goes up higher, so... Yeah, but they didn't... I think... But, the articulation is really solid on this figure. The sculpt is actually pretty good. He's really sleek, slender. He just looks really good, which is surprising, because a lot of the McFarlane figures have really awkward proportions, so the fact that he's kind of well-proportioned is really exciting, and I think the biggest thing about it is he doesn't have a rubber overlay over the torso. This is just plastic. Because if you bring in Grant again, you can see his torso just looks so big and bulky. And that's because he's got this rubber overlay. But they didn't do it on him. And I think that's what makes him look so good. And that frees up a lot of the articulation points, which I think helps with just posing him. Also, he's the one Flash figure I own that actually has running hands. and just not so you can like actually get him looking like he's running as opposed to just having fists. So that's cool. But yeah, getting in for a closer look, I think this figure actually looks good. The head sculpt, I think, is done really well. I'm not the biggest fan of this cowl. I feel like it should go back a bit more. But it is sculpted and painted pretty well. The skin tone falls flat. It's just a flat color. But they did paint the lips well, and it's kind of hard to see. And they painted the eyes well, but it's kind of hard to see. But I think they actually nailed Ezra's likeness on this. It actually looks really good. He's got like the lightning bolts on the ears. And one thing I really like about this figure is that they painted all the like yellow lines throughout the suit. They didn't have to do that because like when he's not using the Speed Force, it's all these yellow lines aren't there. But I like that they did it because it breaks up the sculpt. It breaks up all the monotony of the red on the sculpt, makes a lot of the smaller details more noticeable, and honestly think makes it look cooler. But yeah, because you got the red, not red. What color is that? Yellow, Jesus. Going up, and you get some subtle sculpts there. Coming down to the torso, get to his lightning bolt symbol on his chest. And yeah, it is missing the gold ring around it. And it's interesting that it's like, usually it's like this, but they've rotated it a bit. I gotta say, Ezra does have a lot of really cool and unique... Oh my god, he's standing still without the stand. That's crazy. But anyway, he does have a lot of really unique suits. And coming to the torso, you got a lot of nice sculpt work. You got like the normal texture for the suit, but then you got like these weird like squiggly line thingies sculpted in there, and it looks really good along with all the yellow line work going throughout the suit. It looks really good. Coming to the arms, you got all that nice detail again. The elbow kind of stands out for some reason. I don't know why. You got some gold painted there. Come down to the hands. A little warped there, but still looks good. Same on the other side. And then on the back, you got a lot of yellow on here. This is some really thick yellow. I didn't even know like those parts and details were on the figure. They come down to his like a belt here, which I wish went all the way around. It does look really awkward. That and the abs on the suit, I'd say both of those make it look a bit awkward. Maybe I'm just used to, you know, Grant's more slim look. This figure doesn't really do the suit justice, but still. I will be reviewing that soon, of course. Stay tuned. But yeah, the belt looks really nice, got a lot of nice sculpt work, and I love the gold on this figure. It's done really well. Then you just have this giant booty. I mean, it's flat as hell, but like it's big. With some more nice yellow line work throughout. Coming down to the legs, again, the nice beautiful like texture sculpt with more of the weird squigglies. Then a slightly different texture on the inside along with those yellow lines. The yellow lines are painted beautifully. Then come down to his boots, and the boot design's alright. It does have a very similar vibe to Adam Warlock, just if you inverted the colors. But yeah, you got all that nice red cutting through. Then the gold is painted really well, and then you come down to his feet, which are painted pretty well, and they're painted on the bottom too. So yeah, it's not bad. I actually think proportionally and like sculpt wise, this is the best McFarlane figure I own. Like, look at that. That actually legitimately looks phenomenal. And articulation, this is where I think Hasbro would not be able to beat it, because this guy is jam-packed. He's got a dumbbell joint, and Hasbro, take notes, this is how you get a dumbbell joint on a figure to look up good. He looks up really well, better than most dumbbell joints on Marvel Legends. He does look down pretty well as well. Bobs back and forth, rotates. Arms rotate, hinge out that far. Has a butterfly joint, which is really good for posing because you can actually get the arms like that and like that, which is good because on the Grant one, you can't really do that because the butterfly joint is hindered by that rubber overlay. But bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which goes all the way up. Then you have the, like, McFarlane joint thing, which I hate so much. But surprisingly, this must be, like, on the newer figures, it's not that noticeable. Like, it actually blends in with the sculpt. Because on a lot of the older ones, it would just go sculpt, sculpt, giant ball, and then the hand. But they actually made it to where it actually flows really well with the sculpt. Also, I don't know what that circle thing is there on his suit, but so yeah, this is like a major improvement than a lot of it, and you can actually shift the shoulders up and down if you want. He's got like some torso articulation, which can make him go back that far, forward that far, bob side to side, rotate. His legs can kick this far forward. The crotch is rubbery, but it doesn't hinder as much as some of the other Flashes. He can kick kind of back. You can really just warp his booty back there. So be careful maybe like keeping him in running poses for too long if you have the leg really far back. Double jointed knee goes up really far. There is a bit of a... Actually, no, there really isn't a rotation there. Then you got a same joint here, and then a toe, like, bend. So, again, you can get him in some really good poses, like I said. You can get him in, like, the perfect running pose. Like, you can, like, really get it working. To the best of your abilities with the stand, though. Like, I'd say... How'd I get it earlier? I don't know what I did earlier, but it was like... I did it really well. That's kind of good. But yeah, if you like mess around with it, get the proportions good. And obviously I'm not a really good poser of the figures, but if you're a really good poser, you could probably get him into some beautiful shots. So yeah, size comparison time. Let's get him to stop leaning. He's a McFarlane figure, so of course he's 7 inches tall. So bringing in an average Marvel Legends, he is going to be a bit smaller than a Black Series. Now I'm going to try to like line them up with the legs, because he's on the stand. So yeah, again, my biggest complaint with McFarlane is the 7-inch scale. Then here he is next to a average Voyager class and a average Halo Jazzwares figure. And time for some fun comparisons. Here he is next to my last DC review, Dr. Fate, and yeah, this guy is miles better than this guy. Like, you can see, like, the proportion problem on him a bit, but they went wild with this Flash figure. They, like, put in the effort. Here he is next to Grant's Flash. And finally, here he is with another upcoming review, the, Flash in the Batman suit. Not as good of a figure. And finally, just for fun, here he is next to a 7-inch scale Iron Man, because these are my favorite heroes from each property. Favorite DC hero, favorite Marvel hero. So yeah. Do I recommend this figure? I actually do. He's actually, like, I got him yesterday, and usually I don't make reviews of figures. I like to spend a couple days with the figure first before I make the review. But honestly, he's a blast to mess with. You can just get him in beautiful, beautiful running poses. He looks great. He does have that McFarlane feel, you know. I just wish, I don't know what it is, but they just don't feel as good as like Marvel Legends and Black Series and even the Halo figures. But still, he looks great. The paint is actually really solid. And I have no QC issues, nothing super loose, which is surprising. Usually there's either a horrific QC issue on some of my figures. That's why I'm always dicey with McFarlane. But like, his joints are solid. Nothing's falling off like a certain Flash, which I will mention in his review. And yeah, he poses beautifully. This is the best. This is like the one Flash, like, because I don't really own too many Flashes, but none of them have been able to pose as well as this guy. He's just, you can get him in such great running poses, and without the stand, you can get him like on that like toe, like how he does in the trailer, and it just looks really cool. So yeah, I very much recommend him. Great looking figure, feels great, poses great, isn't a disproportionate mess like a lot of McFarlane figures. So yeah, I highly recommend him, honestly. I really do. Regardless if you like the movie or if you like Ezra as the Flash. If you just like the Flash, you owe it to yourself to buy this figure. Like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. I'll be doing a lot more Flash, some more Guardians, some Spider-Verse. I got a lot of Spider-Verse coming up. I might be buying some figure arts, just a heads up, and some Transformer stuff, because I know when I see that movie, I'm going to be buying every single one of them, and there's been a lot of announcements. Check out my Instagram, MoonNightXO, where you can talk to me there, get sneak peeks on upcoming reviews, see my art. So yeah. Although I have not seen the movie, I have seen the clip. So you can, getting him in here, you can recreate the beautiful scene of him being like, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." Blah. Yeah, does not make the movie look the best, but hey, still a little hyped. And hope you have a beautiful day, and don't lock your doors so Ezra Miller don't break in and physically abuse you or indoctrinate you into his cult, you know? Peace out.